Today we got two of Superman's most powerful villains ever going head to head. Cyborg Superman versus Hell. Who's coming out on top here? Let's find out. With his organic parts genetically identical to Superman's, many believe that the former astronaut Hank Henshaw truly was the last son of Krypton, restored to life after his death at the hands of Doomsday. That was until he destroyed Coast City in Superman's name, which actually led Hal Jordan becoming a villain known as Parallax. As a result of cosmic radiation, Hank Henshaw underwent a rapid degeneration, but at the moment of his death, his consciousness jumped into a nearby computer. From that point on, his consciousness became tied to machines, and he can now possess machines and anything even remotely electronic and control them with an ability called technomorphing. However, unlike most technopaths, he doesn't just command them, but actually incorporates them into himself, and any nearby technology becomes an extension of himself. This means that he can take any machine and transform it into anything his mind can imagine. Thanks to extensive traveling of the universe, he can imagine a lot. Now, on top of his technomorphing, Henshaw has many of the Man of Steel's powers since he was cloned from Superman's DNA. He has heat vision, super strength, super speed, and vulnerability, and flight all on par with Superman. Cyborg Superman also has removed his kryptonite weaknesses, and he's also immortal, since he's able to live out a physical body. So, we got one corner, Hank Henshaw, the Cyborg Superman. But, entering the ring, at the corner, one of the last Kryptonians, Hell. Hell is a Kryptonian clone created from the cells of countless other Kryptonians. He came to Earth seeking to destroy it in order to restore Krypton by using the energy released to protect a spaceship during time travel. Resolving to save Krypton, Hell believed that Superman could help him, so began watching him and everyone close to him, such as Superboy and Supergirl. Hell is so strong and powerful that he's easily overpowered Superboy, has nearly knocked Superman out, left him weakened and bloody, and hits him so hard Superboy questioned whether or not he could survive. One time an angered Supergirl charged into Hell at super speed, only for her to bounce back from the attack, and Hell wasn't even moved at all. Also durable to take a bullish attack from Superman, take punches that shook the planet, could be felt from the Earth's core all the way to the Watchtower, and Hell was overall fine. Just like all the Kryptonians, Hell is exceptionally fast. Also unique is the ability of teleportation. He's teleported Supergirl from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean to the surface of the sun, and even teleporting the Fortress of Solitude without Superman even knowing. Hell has actually got a ton of unique powers that other Kryptonians, like Superman, don't have. For instance, he can create an astral projection of himself, show illusions and telepathically control people, travel to alternate timelines, also has heat vision, and able to release energy from his hands to cause explosions. Then, like Superboy, Hell also has telekinetic powers. He telekinetically restrained Superman, Wonder Woman, and Superboy, easily stopped Superman in his tracks, and telekinetically crushed Feora's heart and exposed Kryptonians under a red sun. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now today we got two of the most powerful Superman villains out there going head to head. Hank Henshaw, the Cyborg Superman, is taking on Hell. Kryptonian was actually created by Jor-El himself. Both of them have given Superman a real hard time in the past. But who's come out on top if these villains ever squared off against each other? Well, today, that's what we're going to find out. And first thing we take a look at is strength and physicality. Well, according to Superman himself, Cyborg Superman is every bit as strong as him. He's hurt Mongo with a punch, easily beat up Superboy, and he's hurt and dazed Superman himself too. Hank has knocked out Guy Gardner, knocked out Supergirl and Superboy. He's even squared off against Doomsday himself. In fact, Cyborg Superman has significantly injured Doomsday with his attacks, destroyed half of Doomsday's body just by flying straight through him, and actually managed to throw Doomsday out of the solar system. On the other hand, Hal's been able to easily overpower Superboy, easily knock away Superboy, and punch both Superboy and Superman out of the Fortress of Solitude. He's blitzed and slammed Superman into the ground, nearly knocking Clark out. Kachi swiped away Superman with just one hand when Clark tried to speed blitz him, and beat down a Superman before punching Clark all the way into orbit. Hell even hit Superman with a punch that Superboy didn't think he could survive because it was the hardest punch he'd ever seen. So strength-wise, they are ridiculously close. But what about durability? Well, Cyborg Superman has taken hits from Green Lantern, a combined hit from John Stewart and Kyle Rayner, and taken energy blasts from 5 Green Lanterns at once without really any issue. On top of that, he's taken beatings from Doomsday and Doomsday enhanced by his own power. And then there's Superman. Hank has consistently taken hits from Clark with absolutely no problem. Oftentimes, taking multiple hits at once. And sometimes those hits don't really do much as Cyborg Superman. They would take them with no real problem and no real injury. So then what about Hell? Well, an angered Supergirl charged into Hell, only to fall backwards and claim that she couldn't even feel her hands. On the other hand, Hell wasn't even moved. And then Superman came speeding in from orbit, bull rushed Hell, and hit Hell with punches that shook the planet. Punches that can be felt over from the core of the planet up to the watchtower in orbit, and Hell was relatively fine, showing no real signs of damage. So then, finally, we gotta talk about speed. Well, again, according to Superman, Cyborg Superman is every bit as fast as him, and he's blitzed Superman before and blitzed Green Lantern too. On the other hand, while Hell has blitzed Superman, but perhaps the most impressive feat is being able to travel from Metropolis to Supergirl Sanctuary in the Atlantic Ocean and back with Superboy in hand before Superman had even realized that he had left. Now, to be fair, Hell could have potentially used his teleportation here. The scene is kind of vague. Either way, it's a real good speed feat, whether it's for his movement and travel speed or his teleportation speed. And speaking of teleportation, that actually leads me to my second point here. Because while both of these guys are extremely physically powerful, easily on par with Superman, arguably even superior to Superman at some moments, they both have a plethora of powers, a whole lot more than the average Kryptonian. In fact, Cyborg Superman is technically immortal, can't be killed, and actually spend a period of time trying to die, and seeking out people to try and kill him. Not even the Anti-Monitor was sure that he could kill Cyborg Superman. And this is the fact that Hank is one of the most powerful technopaths in the DC universe. He's taken control over a billion robots, control the entire network of Apocalypse, and toward the apocalyptic armies of a sonic frequency, has controlled Warworld, and even taken control of the Source World. He's taken control of the Central Power Battery, shut down the rings of all the Green Lanterns, and even controlled Jessica Cruz's ring to attack Hal, and Kyle's ring to attack Kilowog. His heat vision has floored Superman, split apart Doomsday's face, and his arm cannon has significantly injured Mongol and Superman 2 in the past, and even two-shot Eradicator. So then what about good old Hell? Well, he just has a ton of powers. He's able to instantly create force fields, can seemingly hide his presence from others, like appearing to Superboy, while hiding from the rest of the Teen Titans, or hiding himself from Superman and Supergirl despite only being a few feet away. And he's able to manipulate an opponent's size, shrinking down Supergirl and teleporting her inside the bottled city of Kandor. He's able to release an energy ore that literally disintegrates Kryptonians. He's actually able to manipulate time and peer into the recent past, looking back several minutes in the past, learning where the Super family went. He can create astral projections of himself, instantly teleport himself and others, and even has telepathy, claiming he can fry Kryptonian minds of a thought while in his astral form. However, probably Hell's greatest asset here in this fight is his telekinesis. He's counter overpowered Superboy's telekinesis, used telekinesis to rip Superboy apart at the molecular level, making them apart atom by atom, and impale Superboy with some sort of telekinetic construct. He's launched Superman and Wonder Woman away, easily stopped Superman in his tracks, and restrained Superman, Wonder Woman, and Superboy all at the same time. His telekinetic constructs are also powerful enough to cause Superman to cry out in pain, and Hell really has no problem using lethal methods, telekinetic exploding Kryptonians, and telekinetically crushing Feor's heart. So, end of the day, who's come out on top here? Well, physically, they're really, really similar. But it's the versatility that turns the fight in Hell's favor. Cyborg Superman has his technopathy, but that won't help him out a ton here, because Hell isn't an inherently technical character, meaning he doesn't have technology on him or relies upon technology really at all. On the other hand, Hell's telekinesis is definitely going to be effective here, and Cyborg Superman really has no answer to it. He's used it against Superman and other Kryptonians. We'll be able to use it against Cyborg Superman here too. And honestly, Hank doesn't really have the damage output necessary to put Hell down before Hell is able to use his telekinesis to put him down. So yeah, Hell is coming out on top here. Hell wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Also be sure to like button, subscribe button, turn notification with the DanCo army, and I will see you next time.